I think the 2 7-game losses to the Rockets probably the one to stick with me the most. I mean, the Bulls, they won 6 championships, so they probably had a better team. But to lose Game 7 to the Rockets twice, the 2 years they won in the conference finals, to lose 2 tough Game 7s, those are very difficult to get over, to be honest with you. But, you talk about the playoffs. When the playoffs start, there's so much energy and intensity going on, but it just ramps up every round you go. But the thing that makes that energy so high and your adrenaline, when you lose, it's like a death in the family. Now, the finals are a whole different animal. You never get over losing the finals. You never get over that. But when you play basketball every day since October, when you lose, let's say, the second round of the playoffs, you're kind of like, wow, what do I do tomorrow? It's a shock.
You got a ring with Pop. What stands out about that?
I'm gonna do Kenny's thing where he does this. It was 2 times.
2 times.
Well, the one thing, like Shaq was just saying, there's just never a nervousness about it because he has an understanding of what makes everybody go. And when we're not on the same page, he knows exactly kind of what paragraph to pick out so that we're back there pretty quick. And he does play the same psychological games, I think, that Phil would play, like Shaq was mentioning, in order for you guys to find really what your center is. And that's about doing your job and just having accountability. And that starts from day 1 of training camp. The message just doesn't change all year long. It's a process until it's the end of the process. And then when that one's done, we'll worry about the next one. But it's always the same message every day that we're just trying to get better and play for one another. And if we do that, we'll give ourselves the best chance to win. If you don't mind, I want to ask Shaq and Charles and Webb and Reggie, being star players and having the responsibility of your team, and you lose the season, do you feel like you carry around more than what, in my situation, as a role player? A guy that if I got minutes, I wanted to go in and do my job to the best of my ability and come out and make sure that we made a positive impact. Did you carry more when you lost and it was the off season? You
carry more because, us 3 guys are all great players. And, LeBron, I'm not comparing myself to LeBron, but at some point, they'll say, oh, they're great, but they didn't win the championship. That was what's going on with LeBron in Cleveland. You sit back. That's probably going to start happening to Kevin Durant from now on. Every year he don't win a championship. He's great, he's leading scorer, he's great, but he never won a championship. So they only said it's kind of a backhanded compliment, to be honest with you. But it's a tough. You just have to live with it. That's just a personal responsibility. No disrespect. They're never going to say, oh, Brent didn't win the championship. But they're like, Charles didn't win it, Reggie didn't win it, C. Webb didn't win it, Elgin Baylor, Dan Marino. Every guy who's a great player in your sport, it's like that one little thing up there. So it wears on you.
With me, it wears because I wanted to win a championship. But when I hear stories about the great coaches that you guys had, and I had some awesome coaches, but when I hear about stories about how coaches handle things, or I always say this, the best teams have the best role players. Role players relish their job like a championship. And so I just always wanted everyone to take it as serious as I was. That was my only gripe. We're sitting here in film session. I don't know why you laughing. You haven't made a jump shot in the last 10 games and you won't pay attention. So I was like, we all need to take this as serious. Just because you go home and it won't be the same, like Chuck said, is true. But I wanted everybody to have that passion. And I don't know if it's true, but it seemed like on championship teams that you knew your job was just as important as Jordan, even if it was different responsibilities. But, I just wanted everybody to realize that we're all important. If we're not a good team, we won't win regardless of what's going on.
I carried all the pressure because deep down in my mind, if we didn't win, I knew one way or another it was going to be blamed on me, probably from the free throw line. So when we didn't win, I always took it really hard and I always said to myself, I gotta do whatever it takes to get to the next level. That's why I just wanted to dominate the games in other areas. So in case I wasn't on at the free throw line, sometimes it didn't matter. But if we didn't win, yes, I took it really hard.
Well, I can only speak for myself, but personally, it's the greatest failure in my career because it's different when you're out front because you have 11 other guys in that locker room looking out looking right back at you, counting on you. And you get all the pats on the back when you make big shots and, you get the big contract. But with that comes a lot of responsibility. And going back over 18 years, it probably wouldn't hurt as much if I wasn't so close so many years, being to the conference finals 6 times, to the finals once, going against great teams. But that's what you're paid to do. When you are at the head of the table and you have 11 other people looking back and you're accounting for, it's, to me, my greatest failure.